Mr. Happy Living here, and I'm happy to be broadcasting from WITV7 in the beautiful Queen City, Charlotte, North Carolina, USA. Hey friends, will you come and join me just for a minute and imagine how awesome you'd feel living the unique and distinct life you were put on this planet to live, doing work you love, with people you love, in places you love, and all the while creating something of real value to others. That's what I call a life of significance. And I can tell you it makes for a very happy life. And so can Brian and Michelle Cortesio. They're my guest stars today, and they're here to share their unique and distinct journey to their life of significance. Hey, Brian and Michelle, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Hi, Matt.
Thanks for having us.
Awesome. Why don't you just get us started by telling us what you're doing these days to make your mark of significance on the world?
Well, we are sharing our full-time travels in an RV with everybody, with the world,
Yeah.
on YouTube, on our YouTube channel. We didn't realize that that's what we were really going to be doing all this time, but that's kind of what it turned into. And then that's kind of when we realized that we were serving a purpose. And that's when it started meaning more to us.
Right. We kind of started it out as we thought we would just document it for our family.
Yeah.
And it just kind of grew from there. So now we're sharing it with the world.
That's great. And what's the name of the channel or the company?
It's all one word, living our vision.
Living and our vision, it's like RV.
Correct. Yeah.
Living our vision, RV vision, which I think is very clever, very cool. Very good. And so describe your rig. Is it big and spacious? Like John Madden, or is it not quite?
It used to be.
Right.
The first 2 years we were in a Class A 40-foot motorhome, pulled our car behind us, and then after that we went to an Airstream with a truck, 33 Classic. We were living in that for a year, and then we had an opportunity to become ambassadors for a company that called Gretsch RV, and they're a Mercedes. It's Mercedes Sprinter van, and it's called the Strada Ion.
Yeah.
And it's each time that we've went a little smaller, our stress level was a little relieved and a lot less to worry about. So
Yeah.
people wonder, how in the heck do you live in that?
In a van.
But
Very
it works
good.
for us.
Yeah.
Very good. Well, so let's do a little mathematics so our friends all around the World Wide Web can get to know you through our happy formula. And you know it. It's a simple but super powerful formula that goes like this: power plus purpose equals happy. So let's start with power and discussing what are your personal practices for building up all the power you need to get things done, whether it's physically, mentally, financially, spiritually, emotionally. In other words, Brian and Michelle, what do you do on a regular basis to create all the power you need to take really good care of yourself and your loved ones and still have plenty left over so you can be a giver to others?
That's a tough one.
Well, yeah, that's very tough because we work remotely, and so we're sitting all day working. We try to take a quick little walk every now and then in the afternoon just to get out and exercise, especially since we've been in this Class B small van. But other than that, I would say like our downtime would be in the evenings when we are ready to lay down, get ready for bed, just watch occasional TV to just kind of de-stress and
get some normalcy.
Yes.
Yeah.
But then we end up staying up late.
I know.
Yeah.
But it's really hard to it's been really hard to really do that because we just seem to be always on the go. Either we're doing that and then we have to catch up on other things in the evenings. She has her full-time job. I edit and she does that. We do that at the same hours. A lot of times I have to continue editing in the evenings, and she tries to keep up with email questions and private messages and all of that. And then sometimes we're traveling during the week. We get done working, we pull over somewhere in the evening, stay the night, get up and we have to work right there. And then the evening comes, we have to pack everything up and start traveling and filming. And it's just like that's kind of a repeat thing that we do.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've been in my van also for about a year now, and it is harder to take care of yourself as you're living in smaller quarters. But that taking care of yourself can look like other things. And I find when you're doing things that you love, that fuels your energy. And the reason to eat right and exercise right and all these other things is so you have the energy to perform. And I'll give you an example. Maybe this will let you think of some other ways that maybe you fuel up. Do you remember a guy named B.B. King, the great guitar player with Lucille, his guitar? And
Yeah.
he was overweight, out of shape, and we put those in quotes because as culture would say, right? And yet the guy lived to be 89 years of age, I think 89. He was playing, he had a concert in his honor where he was playing, I think just weeks or months before he died. And he had the energy, he had the capacity, he had the power he needed all through his life to take care of himself in a way that fueled him and lifted others.
Right.
So power is not just, one thing, fitness and nutrition and muscles and all that. It's also spiritual power. So I don't know if there'd be any things that you're doing spiritually, or maybe your work that energizes you, or would you add anything more to your answer?
Well, we do try to eat healthy. It's probably a little easier for me because Michelle's known through our videos as Pie Girl. She likes to test all the pies around the country, and now the pressure's on because everybody wants to know.
I know.
Where's the best pie in this area?
Yeah.
But we do try to eat healthy. Sometimes it's hard when you're traveling. You see all these new places to eat, and you hear about these places. We get a lot of suggestions, and so of course we want to stop and eat at those places. But
Yeah.
Spiritually, we just have faith. We trust in God. We believe. A lot of times God, as you know, has a plan for you, and you don't realize these ideas come to your mind, and we fully believe that that's where these ideas come from. And because a lot of times you don't know where they're leading, and then later you realize.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Even and then we'll move along, but even the idea of being Pie Girl, if you're doing Pie Girl, loaded up with spirit, helping others, making people feel good. My mom used to really love making baking pies. All that creates an energy that counterbalances what culture says is good for you. And if we eat our pie and then we're all upset about it because, oh gosh, I shouldn't be eating this much sugar and all that creates negativity. But if you're saying, no, I'm going to find the best pie in the world and I'm going to taste it and I'm going to be able to tell these people about it, and it's going to create all this joy and love, that's the B.B. King kind of thing. So you might be a little heavier than other people, but who cares if you're happy? So I think it's interesting. Power can come from so many different sources, not just what society says, I think.
That's
true.
So let's move along, Brian and Pie Girl, and let's dive into my favorite power generating concept. It's called a Kaizen state of mind. And it's this beautiful Japanese idea that small incremental improvements add up over time to yield great big results. And I love it because it's based on mindset, not circumstance. Kaizening life is knowing there's always something I can do better tomorrow than today. And for me, it creates an optimistic, gentle, but powerful and continuous uplifting of my life day after day after day. So Brian and Michelle, how does Kaizening your life help you increase your power to continuously become more so you can continuously give more?
You want to go first, or you want me to?
Go ahead.
For me, it's all about the editing and the feedback that we get. When we hear how much these videos mean to people, in different ways, they mean something very special to each person in different ways. That makes me want to, keep trying to improve and make these better.
Yeah.
I'm pretty meticulous, and it's frustrating for me because I have to rush. I'm on a time crunch to get them done before the end of the week because I know weekends are filming, and I have to start another one the very next week. But that's I guess that's my answer. I don't know.
Michelle?
Oh, well, I was just going to say, over the course of 5 years that we've been traveling full time and living in an RV for full time, I mean, we've figured out, what has made things easier, what has made things harder. Each time we downsized to a smaller RV, like Brian said earlier, it made our traveling easier. I mean, I was scared to death at the very beginning in that big Class A, even riding as a passenger.
Yeah.
Just even once we got to in the Class B Sprinter vans, the stress was a lot less. Traveling is much easier. We're very nimble, and so just over the course of the years, we just figured out what was better for our lifestyle.
Yeah, that's why I left in our introduction in our videos. The very first clip is when we took the car and we were pulling a little U-Haul with what we had with us. And you can see it in her eyes in that clip. So they were about as big as silver dollars, and she was frightened.
Sheer panic.
Well, another way we can think about Kaizen, and I watched it in one of your videos when you showed all the tricks and techniques that you developed to making your life easier. And I'll just give you an example of one of them, a simple one that I wrote about the other day. It's Kaizening, the small incremental improvement that added up to make my life better. And I went from a coffee maker with a glass carafe to an aluminum carafe. That's a thermal carafe by itself. And I accomplished several things. First, and I stopped drinking cream. I went back to just black only, like I used to. I've done it every 10 years, back and forth. So I'm back to black only. And so I eliminated cream in my refrigerator. I eliminated having to have a glass carafe that goes into a metal carafe when I travel. And I reduced the heat or the energy consumption that was actually causing me some trouble when my air conditioning was running in the summer, and I was making coffee at the same time. So little tiny change, but it creates big results, and you add on to it time after time after time. And I know you've done it in your RVing, because you're living big now in smaller space and easier. And that's from learning and Kaizening and small incremental improvements.
That's
yes. We do little things all the time. Like, as soon as we think of something, like with the coffee, we went from a French press, and now we went to a little collapsible pour over that we use. And it eliminates the things that you need, makes cleanup quicker. Because it's amazing how many different little things, just small things, can when you're really busy, can create unnecessary stress.
That's right.
So we make all kinds of little changes here and there as we go, and just learn from each experience.
Yeah, and I guess one other way we can explore Kaizen in your life is go back to the first video you made. And the time and the struggle and the quality and all of that, as hard as it was, to what it's like today when you make a video. And I bet you've learned a lot, and I bet you're a lot better and faster and quicker. And it's from all these small little things that you learn, half of them by accident because you make a mistake. Yeah.
Through the years of editing from when I first started, and I don't go back to watch those videos, by the way. Learn a lot of different editing tricks and just little things. That's another thing that's a little frustrating for me, because there's more that I want to learn, but I have to learn a little at a time, which is progress. And it helps. It's not just progress for me, it makes me happy, but it also makes other people happy. We hear it all the time. There's like, oh, videos are getting better. We just enjoy this so much. And that means a lot to us. It just, you're bringing happiness to others. And
that's great. That's great. All right, let's explore purpose. That's the second element of our happy formula. And I've observed that major life transformations, those big discoveries of purpose, sadly often come from devastation, addictions, disease, death, disaster. Some awful thing strips a life to its core, resulting in some big change. However, in my book, Turning Inspiration into Action, I share the transformational process that I've used to discover the purpose of my life using inspiration. So how about you guys? Was there a specific moment or event or crisis or inspiration that revealed to you the God-given purpose you were meant to live?
You mean like what made us decide to start this whole lifestyle?
If this is, yeah, you look like you're in your purpose to me when you talk about it, you light up and all that. So yeah, what was there a catalyst that caused that?
Well, for us, it was just the repetitive lifestyle that we were living when we lived back in Iowa.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we just there was for so many reasons we just weren't happy with that repetitive lifestyle and everything in our life at the time. We
And we loved to travel when
yes,
we could, like vacations and stuff like that.
yeah, and just one day I where it came from. I know I've always had this idea from childhood that I wanted to RV someday
Hmm.
because of this trip I went on with my aunt and uncle
Hmm.
and with my cousin, and that just stuck in my mind. It was one trip going to my grandma's house up in Wisconsin, and just stuck in my mind. And so I just started. The idea came in my mind, well, what if we could travel full time but still work remotely? We would still be able to, stay happier, keep in contact with our family, our
Hmm.
kids, and create these videos so they can watch us and do FaceTime calls and still come back and visit whenever we want because we're working remotely.
Yep.
And maybe it'll actually make us feel like, enjoy our lives a little bit more and still be able to interact with our families in a different way, plus getting to see them, once in a while. Lifestyles are very busy, and sometimes, the other sides of the family don't have enough time. Also, they're busy as well.
Yeah. Yeah. It was so when that time period happened, that was like you said, about 2018.
Yes.
Thanks.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. So first of all, Brian, you came up with the idea. Michelle, when he pitched it to you, what was your thought? Are you crazy? Gonna live in a road
Exactly.
full time?
We really can't say what she said on here.
Yes, I thought he was crazy. Now, all I could think of was, well, at first I was like, okay, yeah, that sounds great for, when we were retired. And he said, no, I'm talking about now, why we have the chance, why we have our health.
Yeah.
What if we could do it and still work remotely? And I was like, first of all, my company would never, and I actually said that, would never let
Yeah.
me work remotely.
Yeah.
And I said, never say never.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And, and pitched the idea, I guess you would say, and it worked out and they approved of it. And that was pre-COVID, by the way. And
Right.
basically, since that was when I went remotely, I had to learn everything digitally and help our department do everything digitally, which ended up helping us during the COVID time when
Yeah.
everybody went remotely.
Wow, that's great.
So domino effect.
It was,
Yeah.
it was. So, but anyway, that, we just kind of went through a few little hurdles to get to the point of actually pulling the trigger, and I don't know, the rest is history, I guess.
All right, one more question on this. What did your family and friends think when you let them know you were selling your house, selling all your stuff, and going on the road?
They were pretty nice about it. They you could see you're crazy in their eyes,
Yes.
but they didn't say
And we think that they probably thought, yeah, we'll give them like a year.
Yeah.
at most.
Yeah, at most. But no, we're still doing it.
It's actually been so much easier than we ever imagined that it would be.
Yeah, and so just one more thing here. In my book, I write about this. It's very easy to get excited about something. We could have a listener that's listening to this show and said, gosh, yeah, I'm gonna do it. I've always wanted to get an RV. I'm gonna do it. And then they start like Michelle did. Well, we can't because, and I don't have the money. I don't have the time. I don't know what to do with all my stuff. And so we talk ourselves out of our vision.
Correct.
So what would you say to people who are listening about how you overcame, because you had to deal with that stuff too, but you were more powerful than it, and you made it happen, and you're happy that you made it happen. That's one thing I'd like you to address. And then if you had failed at this and it was miserable and you went back and bought a house, would you still have been happy that you did it? So you checked it off the list and you don't have any regret.
Yeah, well, first of all, that's something that I actually had mentioned to her too, is if we don't do it, there's always going to be a what if.
Yeah.
If you ever have a dream, I say make it a vision, have a vision to do it, and just do it. Because it's better to do it, fail. So what? If you fail, you tried it.
Yep.
And then if you love it, great. And if you didn't, go back to what you were doing before.
Yeah. And one more thing on that, even if you fail, you gain stuff. And so let's just go to your story, and that you did this in 2018, you went on the road, you were miserable. By the time COVID was over, you went right back to Iowa and you were living where you were living. But Michelle would have helped her company come up with this entire COVID workaround from your 2-year adventure. And that would have still been a really great big value add to your life and to the lives of those around you.
Yeah,
True.
it's pretty amazing how things work.
Yeah.
Sometimes one thing leads to another.
Yeah.
Seems to be on purpose.
Very, very good. All right, Brian and Michelle, thank you for that. Now let's take a commercial break so our sponsor can spread a little love with our audience.
Sounds good.
And we're back, and this is the Something Significant Show, and I'm your host, Matt Gersper. And my special guest stars today are Brian and Michelle Cortesio. On Thanksgiving of 2018, they left their sticks and brick home and started living full-time in an RV while working remotely as digital nomads and traveling our beautiful country and moving to a new location every 2 or 3 weeks. They say it's been an amazing adventure so far, and they see no end in sight. Oh, Brian and Michelle, I love that. And I think you're going to love this article from livescience.com. It's called The Science Behind the Power of Giving. And it says that the act of giving itself can be a gateway for discovering your reason for being on this planet. The science tells us that giving one's time and talents and treasures is a powerful pathway for discovering purpose and overcoming obstacles and finding fulfillment and meaning in life. So I updated our formula. Power plus purpose plus giving equals really happy. So what do you think about that, guys? Has giving your time and your talents and your treasures been a pathway for discovering your purpose and for getting past difficulties that you've faced and for bringing real meaning into your life?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, just the more time went on and the more feedback we kept getting, and the realizing the lives that we were changing. We've had all walks of life. We've had people that do travel full-time also. We've had people that don't, people that travel part-time, people that can't travel, people that are sick and very sick. And those are tough to read, but that's what really keeps us going, because there's been many times that we have been overly stressed, and I almost come to tears when I talk about this, sorry, but we can't quit when we read those things.
Right.
Purpose, it just it means a lot.
That's right. Awesome. We could have had like a really bad day, and then we'll read a comment or an email from somebody that just says, please don't stop. We really enjoy your videos, and it just keeps us going.
That's awesome. You just gave me an idea that we can talk about, I hope. But I've been spending, my parents are 86 and 87. And so since I've been nomading myself, I've been spending a lot more time with them, and I'm getting to know them and their friends. And this would be many of them can't travel anymore. But I know you have people who can't travel that are traveling with you and living vicariously in different places through you. And so I think it'd be great to introduce you to my parents' assisted living center. And if that could be, that's something that you could travel into those places and give talks and then leave, and you're going to have eyeballs that will be following you. I think that could be so cool.
Yeah, one of the things that that Michelle and I both, we've always been kind of quirky. We love to laugh. We make each other laugh all the time. We never take things personal when we, say things to each other. We just laugh about it. We laugh about silly things we do. And that's something that people really love when they say, "Oh, you make me." I don't know how many times somebody has said that you made me laugh. You've made my day. I was having a bad week or whatever. And that it's not really about showing off. It really made me realize a lot of the comedians and people that do, love to make people laugh in comedies or whatever, that's probably, how they feel too, because it's not about
100%. BB King, they found their purpose, and science tells us that giving to others brings real meaning to our lives. It explains the way you feel so emotional right now. Science tells us that. And the joy that comes from the fourth element of significance, which you feel when you're creating value for others, it gives you joy. That confirms it. But there's something more to it than just the giving. And it's something that I feel deep in my spirit. And I've come to believe that the real magic of life comes when you're giving, of course, but also from living in your purpose. That's where the real magic is. And the comedians and BB King and what you guys are doing right now, it's giving from living in your purpose. And so, Brian and Michelle, the audience and I would like to experience how it makes you feel to be happily living your life and giving to others through the work God put you on this planet to do, and the people all around you have taken notice. So please sit back, open your hearts, and have a listen to what people are saying about the impact you're making on their lives by finding the magic of giving from living in your purpose. One person said, Brian and Michelle are just awesome people enjoying their life. Another said, Brian and Michelle are two pretty special people to my wife and me. A chance meeting in the campground has led to a great friendship. And another said, I enjoy seeing how things work, and I have appreciated seeing up close and personal how things connect, how they each work from home, and what they see and how they get there, even the struggles of their travels. Others said, I've been following them since their very first video. They love traveling and love talking about their travels to anyone who's interested in hearing about them. Both take great pride in sharing their videos. They are the sweetest couple. Appreciative, authentic, endearing, entertaining, helpful, happy, generous, supportive, knowledgeable, playful, genuine. It's not an act. Quick to help in any way they can to friends and family in need of anything. It's not uncommon that out of the blue, we get a text from them saying they were just thinking of us and that they miss us. Michelle and Brian's hugs are genuine and long. I could write a book and not cover how amazing Brian and Michelle are, but I'm afraid that any comment I make would be in the category of nepotism since we're family. They've motivated us, and we are traveling more now. We're going on their first group cruise in September. Brian's message has always been, don't wait, get out there and do the things you want to do. And finally, this person said, there is blood family and then family. We've told them many times that they are family to us. After all, we do call them our kids. So, Brian and Michelle, how does all that incredible love make you feel?
I'm about ready to cry.
We
love them all.
It never gets old hearing that. We love hearing that. The authentic thing, we hear that all the time, and it's kind of weird to us, I guess, because we just
do what we do.
Do what we do. I think maybe that's probably because we never script anything.
Right.
We just turn the camera on and we just go and just bring everybody along with us. And that's probably why, because people can see through, they can tell when you're being authentic. But everything you read there means a lot.
Yes, it does.
Well, very good. That's what this show is all about. It's finding that magic in each of our lives, and it's available for each of us. That's what I believe. And it comes from this great big happy circle. Giving your time and talents and treasures is a powerful pathway for discovering your purpose. And giving from living in your purpose brings a profound joy to your life and to the lives of those around you too. So it seems that giving leads to purpose and giving from purpose leads to joy. So to better capture the exponential power of our happy formula, Brian and Michelle, let me tweak it just a tiny bit more to power times purpose times giving equals happy to the third power. And that's really, truly, deeply happy. Does that sound about right to you guys?
I believe so, yes.
100%.
Very good. All right, let's wrap things up with the lightning round. I love the power of words and the capacity of great quotes to change lives. So I'm going to read a few of my favorites and have you tell us what they mean to you and give us the first thing that comes to your mind, because we call this a lightning round. So I'll read a quote and I'll start with you, Michelle, and then Brian, you answer second, and then we'll switch. So the first one for Michelle first, from Voltaire. He says, "Wherever my travels may lead, paradise is where I am."
That is so true. We have been over many, many states in our country, and every state has a beauty. We have seen so much beauty, and so I would just say that
Did you say lightning?
yeah, I know, sorry. We are, every time we're in a place, how do I want to say, just look at the beauty around us and just thankful that so blessed to see it.
Yeah. Brian?
Oh.
Where my travels may lead, paradise is where I am.
What answers? I'm sorry, I don't know how to answer this.
That's okay. We'll go next one from Buddha. There is no path to happiness. Happiness is the path.
Yes, 100%.
All right, Michelle, you want to try it?
I would say we create our own path. We don't try to follow the happiness. We're happy within our own path.
Yeah, and you guys did exactly what the Buddha said by saying, let's not wait until we're retired. That's the traditional model, that let's work, and then we'll be happy one day when we can retire. Just saying, no, we're going to have happiness every day, just like you're doing it. And along the way, and they're very similar to the first two quotes. Okay, this is an easy one, I think. From Billy Joel, paraphrasing Socrates, "The more I learn, the less I know." Start with you, Michelle. The more I learn, the less I know.
Oh gosh. Well, we can always improve on ourselves and keep learning.
Yeah.
So every day that we're either working or traveling, we need to keep improving on ourselves.
Yeah. The more I learn, the less I know, Brian. There was a time in your life you didn't know anything about video editing.
Oh,
And as soon as you knew about it, you had a lot more to learn, for sure.
yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. It's an everyday thing. Pretty much every day that I'm editing, it seems like I see something else that I can do just to add a little extra. I have a bad habit of that, of adding extra and adding adding a little more to something that's going to take a little longer too. But I know what it's going to create in the long run, and hopefully people are going to enjoy that. But yes, it's that's an everyday thing.
Yeah. This is from Richard Branson. He says, if someone offers you an amazing opportunity, but you're not sure you can do it, say yes and then learn how to do it later.
That was probably our maiden voyage, I guess you would say. Starting out in the motorhome, and we're like, oh my gosh, we're doing this.
Yeah.
Oh, and so just do it and learn as you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. One of my favorite quotes that my son can tell you I said a little too much is, you can't make a basket if you don't shoot the ball. If it's something that you want to do, just do it. Just go for it. Don't let that negative
Yep.
little guy sitting on your shoulder tell you, what if this, what if that? Those are all negative thoughts.
Yeah.
If you keep all positive thoughts in your head, things will go smooth. If it doesn't go smooth, another door opens.
Yeah. That's right. This is one from my past. I don't know the author. It says, once you get where you want to be, you're not there anymore.
Probably, is that because we keep wanting other things? The next thing, and then the next thing.
That's very true with when we're traveling and you see all these beautiful places and you guys, oh my gosh, what else does this country have to offer? Especially when you go into the national parks. The national parks are by far the most beautiful thing that our country has to offer. They're just amazing.
Well, that's, and your travel and that, what you just said, that also captures the more I learn, the less I know. There's so much we don't know about our own country because most of it we've never seen it. You don't know what you don't know. So, okay, this is from Ray Wiley Hubbard, and I actually saw this written on a chalkboard in one of our harvest hosts in Texas. And Ray Wiley said, "The days I keep my gratitude higher than my expectations, I have really good days."
That's absolutely. And that relates back to the videos and everything that you were saying. These people, our viewers are saying, that gratitude just gives you more power to keep going on the rough days.
There's been times where we maybe not had an expectation of something being very good. And then when it happens, it's like, oh my gosh, we didn't even expect this. This is beautiful, or this is great. I mean, and here we were thinking that it wasn't even going to turn out to be anything.
We like to keep our minds open, and if something sounds like that's probably not going to be that great to go see or do, we just a lot of times got to remind ourselves, just keep your mind open because chances are it's much better than you thought.
Yeah, very good. And this is the show anchor. It's from Goff. He said, "Whatever you can do or dream you can do, begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. Begin it now." Okay, folks, now it's your chance to be a giver too. If you can hear my voice and you were inspired by today's show with Brian and Michelle Cortesio, won't you please share a little love with our amazing broadcast team by giving what you can to WYTV7. They're a 501c3 charity on a mission to educate, empower, and encourage. They do good works with your kindness. Brian and Michelle, I love your advice to live free and follow your crazy dreams. And I admire the courage it took to leave traditional living in the rearview mirror of living your RV vision and how you encourage others to live their vision too. And I'm super happy that you've shared your adventure-loving and dream-chasing spirit on our show today. Will you please take a minute or two and share any parting remarks you'd like to leave with our audience?
Well, we want to thank you so much, Matt, for inviting us on. And we just we thank everybody that has watched our videos, and maybe those that are yet to watch our videos, but it truly does give us pleasure in providing those. We love all your feedback, all your great comments, and we love to just provide that happiness out there for people.
Just being on your show today and just reminiscing some of these things and listening to what you had to say, really, I know it. I'm speaking for myself here, but I know it did Michelle as well, because we both feel the same. It really touched our hearts, and it kind of set the pace. We were both having kind of a bad morning here with our work, and it really helped. I feel better already.
I do too. I do too.
Well, very good. That's awesome to hear. Thank you, Brian and Michelle.
Thank you very much.
I also want to thank WITV7 for hosting and promoting our show so we can keep interviewing inspiring guest stars like Brian and Michelle and reaching folks just like you, ready to create your own extraordinary lives. And most especially, thank you, viewers and listeners. You'll find links to social media and all things Brian and Michelle Cortesio. Find them, friend them, check out their blog posts and videos and gear and swag. We'll post the links to Facebook and LinkedIn and their Live in RV Vision website in our show notes. From me to you, dear friends, I love you, and I want you to be really, truly, deeply happy too. So go to happyliving.com right now and take our happy quiz, because measuring your happy helps you focus attention on it, and focusing attention on it attracts change and learning and improvement all to flow right into your life. And once you take the quiz, and it really only takes a minute, then give some thought about what we can do together, you and me, to improve the happy of your world, one person at a time. Till next time, I'm Matt Gersper. You are awesome, and this is the Something Significant Show. Happy is an intentional and lifelong journey, but it's hard to change and grow towards higher levels of happy without knowing where you're starting from. Our happy quiz puts a starting pin on the map to your happy living and provides additional guidance and motivation along the way. Just go to happyliving.com and take the happy quiz to get started on your road to happy.